Hello everyone, welcome back to Current Economy and Investment Insights. Today being June 16, 2014, we have Paul Munico from Wells Fargo to give us an update as to what took place in the financial world last week, Paul.
Thanks, Ron. Let's begin by recapping Friday, June 12th market action, and then we'll talk a little bit about last week's activity. The major averages advanced on Friday to trim their weekly losses. The Dow rose 41 points to 16,775, and the S&P 500 gained 6 points to 1,936. NASDAQ, it was up 13 points to 4,310. Stocks climbed higher as 9 of the 10 S&P 500 sectors rose. Energy paced the advance as the price of crude rose amid concerns that violence in Iraq may disrupt oil supplies. Schlumberger jumped 1.8% to 108.25. Technology stocks also helped lift the market. Intel rallied 6.9% to 29.88 after the company boosted its second quarter and full year sales forecasts. M&A activity added to the upside. OpenTable surged 48.3% to 104.46 after Priceline agreed to acquire the company for about $2.6 billion. On the downside, healthcare was the worst performing group. Merck declined 0.2 to 58.21. Economic data was on the back burner. Producer prices fell last month for the first time since February, while a gauge of consumer confidence declined in June to a 3-month low. Despite Friday's advance, the Dow lost 0.9 last week, and the S&P 500 fell 0.7, snapping 3 straight weeks of gains. The NASDAQ declined for the first time in 5 weeks, finishing a weekly loss of 0.3. New York Stock Exchange composite volume totaled more than 2.5 billion shares. On the New York Stock Exchange, advancers beat decliners by 4-3 on issues and 2-1 on volume. The NASDAQ was even on issues but 2-1 positive on volume. Treasuries virtually unchanged, while the 10-year note lost 2/32 to yield 2.6%.
And CNNMoney.com reported this morning that stocks climbed out of an early hole on Monday as Wall Street overcame fears that the violence in the Middle East could fuel a spike in energy prices. Stocks moved beyond Iraq jitters. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500, and NASDAQ indexes are now trading slightly higher, with the NASDAQ leading the way by rising almost 0.2%. The current reading on the Dow is a minus 49.83, the NASDAQ a minus 11.11, S&P 500 a 3.82. Paul, it seems like it's been moving up and down. I'm watching the markets this morning before we went on the air today, and it's very volatile. It's up and it's down 4 or 5 points every few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, volatility is something we've kind of at Wells Fargo been telling clients to expect throughout this whole year. We're especially volatile now, like you mentioned, because of the issues going on in Iraq, affecting oil prices and thus affecting the market.
Right, and they also report oil prices ticked above $107 a barrel Monday amid concerns that the fighting in Iraq could threaten the country's ability to export oil. Natural gas prices were almost flat, but investors will continue to monitor for signs of higher energy costs to Western consumers and businesses. What's going on in Iraq is pretty much affecting everyone. There's lots of uncertainty, and that's obvious. Last week's fast-paced developments in Iraq have the potential to turn into a serious threat for the bull market. According to Ed Yardeni, president of Yardeni Research, wrote in a note to his clients, "My hunch is that the latest geopolitical crisis could set up the market for yet another relief rally." Meanwhile, Russia said it has cut off gas supplies to Ukraine after negotiators failed to fix a payment dispute before a key deadline. So this geopolitical concerns helped drive European and Asian stock markets mostly lower as of this morning, and I guess that's the focus today.
Right. I mean, the market never likes uncertainty, and of course, that's what we have now. We've got uncertainty with Russia and Ukraine, of course, and then the newest uncertainty with Iraq. So the market doesn't get comfortable in times like that.
Exactly. Oh, stay with us. Paul is going to be touching on 4 parts of Medicare. This is not a financial report from him, but some information that we might want to know more about. His 4 stages of Medicare that he's going to discuss. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back with Investment Insights, and today we're going to be talking about, rather than investments, we're going to be talking about Medicare and talking about healthcare, and let's listen to what Paul has to say about it. There are 4 parts to Medicare, Paul, and you want to address those?
Sure, absolutely. Having access to affordable health care, it's critical for many seniors, and that's why it's important for those approaching age 65 or already 65 or older to understand the 4 parts of the Medicare health insurance program.
Okay, age 65 is a hard and fast number. Tell us a little more about why.
You're right. So before going any further, we need to emphasize what you just mentioned, Ron, that unless you're disabled, you must reach age 65 to be eligible for Medicare. If you're younger than 65, you cannot qualify simply because your spouse turns 65.
All right, and then what does Part A cover?
Part A is the hospital insurance. So that helps pay for inpatient hospital care, hospice care, and skilled home health services for homebound patients. It also helps with short-term inpatient care in Medicare certified skilled nursing facilities, but only if you're there for rehabilitation, not long-term or custodial care. Almost everyone qualifies for Part A at age 65 without incurring a monthly premium. So in general, you need to have worked at least 40 quarters, 3 consecutive months, to qualify for premium-free Part A coverage. You can get 40 quarters by working and paying the Medicare payroll tax as few as 10 years.
Okay, how do you qualify for a premium-free Part A?
Good question. You qualify for premium-free Part A based on your spouse's work history. So if he or she has less than 40 quarters and is at least 62 years old or deceased, you get Part A for free at age 65. This also works for ex-spouses. If you are now unmarried and your marriage lasted 10 years or longer. If you're still working at age 65, you should probably take Part A if you qualify to get it for free, no matter how much you make or even if you have other insurance. If you don't qualify for Part A for free, you can purchase coverage.
Okay, and now let's get into Part B.
Part B medical insurance provides coverage for doctor services, outpatient hospital care, and medical equipment and supplies.
Paul, who qualifies for Part B?
All U.S. citizens and legal aliens who have lived in the United States for at least 5 years qualify for Part B at age 65. No work history is required, but everyone who wants Part B must pay a monthly premium. Although it's optional, you will almost certainly need Part B, even if your employer lets you carry health insurance into retirement. In general, you could turn down Part B. You can change that decision only during general enrollment or special enrollment periods.
All right, now moving on to Part C.
Part C, Medicare Advantage, provides the option to buy government subsidized insurance from the private sector rather than using the traditional government Medicare coverage. So depending on where you live, your Part C options can include health maintenance organizations, HMOs, preferred provider organizations, PPOs, private fee-for-service plans, and Medicare medical savings accounts. Individuals with Part C usually have lower deductibles and co-payments than those with the traditional fee-for-service Medicare and get more benefits. However, Part C plans typically restrict your choices of healthcare providers, and you may have to pay a monthly premium.
All right, finally, tell us about Part D.
Part D, the 4th part, is the prescription drug coverage. It's optional and comes from a private company, not directly from the government. you select, a government company you select will charge you a monthly premium.
Okay. Now, Medicare versus Medicaid. Can you explain what the two really mean?
Yep, so in addition to understanding the 4 parts of Medicare, it's important to know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare is a health insurance program that virtually all U.S. residents age 65 or older qualify for. Medicaid, on the other hand, is a medical assistance program only for those who meet the program's low income and low asset eligibility requirements. So to learn more, for additional information, you can ask your financial advisor at Wells Fargo for a complimentary copy of our latest report, Understanding Medicare.
Okay. And so what we're going to put on the screen is your phone number and your address, and so that the viewers can get in contact with you if they do not have a person that can provide them with that Understanding Medicare. And I did see the book, and that is very comprehensive. It does cover pretty much every possible situation that one can ever think of, question-wise and answers. So,
It does.
yeah. Paul, you have some complaints, unless you have anything else you want to add.
No, just the compliance issues that, we're not insurance providers, and Wells Fargo is not a tax or legal advisor. And then just the typical compliance. Investments in securities and insurance products are not FDIC insured, not bank guaranteed, and may lose value. And Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC, is a registered broker-dealer and separate non-bank affiliate of Wells Fargo and Company.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Paul. For Paul Munico with Wells Fargo, myself, Ron Jankowski with Channel 4, we wish you good day.